How many times have you looked back and wished you hadn't said something? Maybe it was a personal detail, a private thought, or a family story that, once it left your lips, seemed to take on a life of its own, causing ripples you never intended. It's a common trap, isn't it? As we grow older, our lives become rich tapestries of experiences, successes, and even quiet struggles. We often feel a natural inclination to share, to confide in those we love and trust. But sometimes, that very act of opening up, though born from a good place, can inadvertently lead to discomfort, misunderstanding, or even genuine heartache in the very relationships we cherish most. It's not about being secretive or dishonest. It's about wisdom, about understanding that certain facets of our lives are truly, profoundly, better kept to ourselves. These aren't secrets born of deceit, but rather, boundaries that protect your peace of mind, your autonomy, and the integrity of your closest bonds. In this video, we're going to delve into 5 specific secrets or areas of your life that, while tempting to discuss, are often best held close. Guarding these can actually strengthen your relationships and your sense of self, creating a more harmonious environment for everyone. Stay with me until the very end, because I have a revelation that might just surprise you. Let's dive right into the first area we need to be incredibly mindful of when speaking with friends or even close family: your detailed financial specifics. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but they're family. They should know. And in some very specific, prearranged circumstances, like estate planning with adult children, a limited amount of information is necessary. But I'm talking about the day-to-day, the nitty-gritty of your wealth, your savings, your spending habits, and especially the specifics of your will or future inheritance plans. Think about it. When you share how much money you have, or how much you spend on a holiday, or what you plan to leave to whom, you are opening a Pandora's box of potential complications. For some, it can breed a sense of expectation or even entitlement. Grandchildren might subtly, or not so subtly, start asking for larger gifts or loans. Adult children might begin to eye your assets, perhaps even feeling resentful if they believe one sibling is favored over another, or if they disagree with your spending choices. Suddenly, your financial life, which should be a private matter that brings you comfort and security, becomes a source of discussion, judgment, and even unspoken pressure from others. Imagine a conversation where you mention a recent significant purchase, like a new car or a home renovation. A friend might immediately judge you for spending too much, or a family member might quietly wonder why you have money for that, but not for something they feel is more important. The intent might be innocent, but the impact can be anything but. Or consider the delicate matter of your will. While it's crucial to have one, discussing the exact details with family members before it's absolutely necessary can inadvertently create rifts. It can foster jealousy, competition, or perceived unfairness among beneficiaries, turning what should be a loving legacy into a source of conflict. Your decisions about your money are yours alone. They reflect your values, your priorities, and your life's journey. When you share these intimate details, you invite unsolicited advice, potential requests for money, and even the subtle, uncomfortable feeling of being sized up by others based on your financial standing. It's not about mistrust. It's about maintaining your autonomy and avoiding situations that can lead to awkwardness, disappointment, or even deep-seated resentment. It's about protecting your peace of mind. Keeping these financial particulars private allows you to make decisions freely, to enjoy your wealth as you see fit, and to distribute it according to your wishes, without the added stress of external pressures or expectations. So, when the conversation veers into finances, a gentle deflection, a vague answer like, "We're comfortable," or "We're managing well," or even a simple change of subject can be your best strategy. It protects your personal comfort and prevents unnecessary complications in your relationships. Now that we've carefully considered our finances, let's turn our attention to something equally personal, and often just as delicate, that we might be tempted to share, but should often keep close to our chest, moving on from the practicalities of our financial well-being. Let's consider something even more intimate: your detailed and private health issues. It's a natural human instinct to seek comfort and support when we're feeling unwell. And of course, there are times when sharing specific health information is necessary and beneficial, especially with a truly trusted confidant, or when you genuinely need practical support. But there's a significant difference between seeking help and oversharing the intricate, sometimes deeply personal, details of every ailment, symptom, or doctor's visit. When you frequently discuss your chronic conditions, the specifics of your medications, or the grim details of a recent diagnosis with everyone in your circle, you inadvertently invite a number of potentially uncomfortable situations. For one, it can cause unnecessary worry and anxiety for your loved ones, while their concern comes from a place of love. Constantly burdening them with the minutiae of your health struggles can weigh heavily on them, making them feel helpless or overly responsible. Secondly, it can open the door to unsolicited advice, often from well-meaning but ultimately unqualified sources. Suddenly, everyone becomes a doctor, offering home remedies, questioning your chosen treatments, or recommending alternative therapies that may or may not be suitable for you. This can become incredibly frustrating and even undermine your confidence in your own medical care. Think about a situation where you might mention a persistent ache or a new symptom to a friend. Before you know it, they're recounting their aunt's similar problem, suggesting a bizarre diet, or even worse, implying you're not taking care of yourself properly. You wanted empathy, but you got judgment or a lecture. Even more subtly, oversharing about your health can sometimes lead to others viewing you through the lens of your ailments rather than as a whole, capable person. You might find yourself being treated as frail or incompetent, even when you feel perfectly capable. This can chip away at your sense of independence and dignity. Your body and its functions are incredibly private matters. While it's good to have a support system, carefully consider who needs to know what and why. Do your friends and extended family truly need to hear about every bowel movement, every ache, or the precise details of your last colonoscopy? Probably not. Maintaining a certain level of privacy around your physical well-being allows you to retain control over your narrative. It lets you choose when and how much you disclose, ensuring that your identity isn't defined by your health challenges. So, when the conversation turns to health, you can offer general assurances like, "I'm managing well," or "My doctors are taking good care of me," and then gently pivot to another topic. This protects your privacy and prevents you from becoming the perpetual subject of medical inquiries. Moving on from our physical well-being, there's another trove of information we might be tempted to share, often in moments of quiet reflection or deep trust, but which can surprisingly cause more harm than good in the present. I'm talking about deep-seated past regrets or mistakes that don't directly impact current relationships in a positive way by being revealed now. We all have a past, a history filled with choices. Some we're proud of, and some we wish we could erase. Perhaps it was a career blunder, a youthful indiscretion, a relationship that ended badly, or even a mistake made as a parent that you've long since learned from. There's a profound human need to confess, to unburden ourselves, and sometimes sharing these old wounds feels like a step towards healing or connection. However, when these revelations are made to those who weren't directly involved or affected at the time, or when they no longer serve a constructive purpose, they can unwittingly cause more distress than relief. Consider telling your grandchildren about a significant mistake you made in your youth that might worry their parents or shake their idealized perception of you. While you might intend to share a life lesson, it could instead create anxiety or even distrust within the family dynamic. as they grapple with information that doesn't have a direct, positive application to their present. Or imagine confiding in a friend about a past relationship failure that reveals deeply unflattering details about an ex-partner who is still part of your mutual social circle. This revelation could create awkwardness, change perceptions, or even lead to unintended gossip, none of which truly serve your current peace of mind. The past is a powerful teacher, and reflecting on our mistakes is crucial for growth. But there's a difference between personal reflection and broadcasting past missteps that could cast a shadow on your present relationships, or burden others with your historical baggage. Not every skeleton in the closet needs to be aired, especially if it doesn't help anyone in the present moment or offer a tangible, positive lesson without causing collateral damage. Sometimes, the wisest course of action is to process these regrets internally, perhaps with a therapist, or to share them only with those who were directly involved and with whom you are actively working to heal old wounds. Your growth and evolution are personal journeys. You've learned from your past. You've moved forward. And you don't need to constantly explain or defend every historical action. Allowing your past to remain in the past, without feeling compelled to lay it bare for current judgment, protects your present relationships and your ongoing peace. It enables you to be seen for who you are now, a person of wisdom and experience, rather than constantly being defined by old errors. This quiet strength, this discernment in what to share, is a powerful form of self-respect. Our journey into personal boundaries continues, and this next secret touches on something many of us wrestle with. Especially as our families grow and evolve, your candid, often unsolicited, opinions on family members' personal lives and choices. As parents, grandparents, siblings, or even close aunts and uncles, we often feel a strong desire to guide, protect, and offer advice to our loved ones. We've lived longer, seen more, and believe our wisdom can prevent them from making mistakes. However, there's a fine line between loving support and intrusive judgment. When you freely share your strong opinions on your adult children's marriages, your grandchildren's parenting styles, their career choices, or their lifestyle decisions, you are stepping onto very thin ice, even if your intentions are pure. Your words can easily be perceived as criticism, interference, or a lack of trust in their ability to navigate their own lives. Think about how it feels when someone criticizes a decision you've made about your own life, especially when you didn't ask for their input. It often leads to feelings of resentment, defensiveness, and a desire to pull away. The same applies to your family. Telling your daughter you don't approve of her partner, suggesting your son should handle his children differently, or openly questioning a grandchild's chosen profession to another family member can create deep rifts. These opinions, even when whispered to a trusted sibling, can easily filter back to the person in question, causing immense pain and damaging the fabric of your relationship. Your adult children and grandchildren have a right to make their own choices, to learn from their own experiences, and to forge their own paths, even if those paths deviate from what you envisioned for them. Your role, increasingly, becomes one of acceptance and unconditional love, rather than active direction. Of course, if someone asks for your advice directly, offer it thoughtfully and gently, always emphasizing that the final decision is theirs. But when it's unsolicited, the best approach is often quiet support, or a simple, affirming statement like, "That's their decision to make, and I support them," or "They're doing their best, and that's what matters." Holding back your unfiltered judgment is a profound act of love and respect. It allows your relationships to breathe, for your loved ones to feel secure in your affection, knowing they are loved for who they are, not for how perfectly they conform to your ideals. It fosters openness rather than defensiveness. And ultimately, it preserves the harmony that is so precious within a family. And finally, we arrive at a secret that, while perhaps less about personal identity, can be incredibly destructive to the very fabric of family and community-sensitive family history or gossip, especially if it's not your story to tell, or if its revelation could cause harm. Every family has its narratives, its triumphs, its secrets, and its shadows. There might be old feuds, quiet scandals, details about past divorces, personal struggles, or embarrassments that have been carefully managed, or perhaps even deliberately forgotten over the years. The temptation to share these stories can be strong. Perhaps you feel a sense of historical importance, or you want to provide context, or perhaps, simply, the story is too juicy to resist. However, when you become the unwitting purveyor of old family gossip or sensitive history that isn't truly yours to disclose, you risk reopening old wounds, creating new conflicts, and profoundly damaging trust. Imagine telling a new partner or a distant relative about a cousin's past struggles with addiction, or a long-buried family secret about inheritance disputes, simply because you think it's interesting. What might seem like harmless chatter to you could be a source of deep shame or pain for the people involved. It can cause immense embarrassment, shatter carefully constructed peace, and lead to accusations of betrayal. Furthermore, sharing such information can have a ripple effect, impacting not just the individuals directly involved, but future generations who might then inherit these unresolved conflicts or negative perceptions. You become part of the problem rather than a source of healing or stability. The role of keeper of family history is a sacred one, but it comes with a responsibility to discern what serves to connect and strengthen, and what serves only to divide or harm. Not every truth needs to be shouted from the rooftops, especially if that truth belongs primarily to someone else and its revelation brings only distress. The peace that comes from not engaging in or spreading negativity, from respecting the privacy of others, is immeasurable when faced with such sensitive information, or when a conversation veers towards gossip about others. Your silence or a gentle redirection can be your most powerful tool. A simple, "That's a private matter," or "It's not my story to tell," or even just changing the subject, demonstrates immense wisdom and respect. It protects the dignity of others and, in turn, protects your own reputation as a trustworthy and considerate individual. So, we've talked about safeguarding your financial details, protecting your intimate health information, keeping those deep past regrets close, reserving judgment on family members' personal choices, and being incredibly mindful of sensitive family history or gossip. Remember, this isn't about being dishonest or isolating yourself from those you love. It's about wise self-preservation and nurturing healthier, more respectful relationships. It's about understanding that true intimacy isn't always about revealing everything, but about building trust through respect, understanding, and knowing when to hold certain things sacred. It's about choosing what serves your peace and the well-being of those around you. Small shifts in how you interact and what you choose to share can lead to profound peace in your daily life. Your peace, your boundaries. These are vital for a truly rich and fulfilling life at any age. You have the right to your privacy, and you possess the wisdom to know what truly needs to be shared versus what is best kept close. What are your thoughts on these secrets? Have you ever regretted sharing something that caused more trouble than it was worth? I'd love to hear your experiences and insights in the comments below. Your wisdom can help so many others. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. We're building a wonderful community here, focused on living our best lives, filled with grace and joy. Embrace the power of your inner wisdom. Live your best life, with boundaries that bring you peace. At every age,